The process of creating a single space marine is a trial so severe that entire generations of a world's finest may yield not one successful candidate. These transhuman warriors represent the absolute zenith of mankind's martial potential. Yet, the standards of the Deathwatch reach even higher, into realms of prowess so rarefied as to be almost mythical. The Long Vigil does not simply seek veterans. It seeks the living legends of the Adeptus Astartes, those singular figures whose deeds have become sagas within their own chapters. They are the paragons against whom others are measured, the chosen few destined to stand guard against the darkest of nights, the Deathwatch. The Deathwatch, known also by the solemn title of the Long Vigil, is a unique and clandestine chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, composed entirely of veteran space marines drawn from across the vast expanse of the Imperium. This exceptional chapter serves as the Chamber Militant for the Ordo Xenos of the Imperial Inquisition, a force of ultimate sanction to be unleashed when the Inquisition requires overwhelming firepower, far exceeding that of the innumerable regiments of the Astra Militarum, or its own dedicated acolytes and throne agents. The galaxy is rife with innumerable hostile alien civilizations that pose a constant and dire threat to humanity's existence, including the relentlessly savage green-skinned orcs, the ever-evolving, all-consuming monstrosity of the Tyranids, the sadistic and soul-hungry Drukhari, the ethereal and star-devouring C'tan, and the soulless, undying legions of the Necrons. The sacred duty of the Deathwatch is to act as a formidable bulwark against these and countless other dangerous Xenos races. They are the silent sentinels, standing as the first, and often the only line of defense when these alien menaces rise to threaten mankind. Unlike the ancient and storied Space Marine chapters from which its members are drawn, the Deathwatch is not a permanent brotherhood. It exists as a temporary formation, a sacred tour of duty for veteran Space Marines selected from their parent chapters to serve the Inquisition for a defined period. To be selected by one's chapter master to join the Long Vigil is an immense honor, a recognition of a battle brother's superior skill, unwavering resolve, and extensive experience. Only the most elite and seasoned warriors of a chapter are chosen for this perilous assignment, the intricate details of which are shrouded in secrecy by inquisitorial decree and a sworn oath of silence. This vow is absolute, binding the Space Marine to conceal his missions and knowledge even from his original chapter, for the truths they uncover are often too terrible for the wider Imperium to bear. Deathwatch Space Marines do not conform to the standard tactical formations, such as the squads and companies meticulously laid out in the Codex Astartes, which govern the operations of other Adeptus Astartes. Instead, they are organized into small, highly specialized and lethally effective units known as kill teams. Each kill team is a hand-picked assembly of specialists, its composition tailored precisely to the nature of the Xenos threat it is tasked to eliminate. In situations where an alien threat is deemed particularly severe, multiple kill teams may be deployed in a coordinated strike to surgically remove the heart of the menace. However, should the threat prove too vast or powerful even for the concentrated might of the Deathwatch, the Inquisition will be forced to escalate its response, calling upon an entire Space Marine chapter, or mobilizing several regiments of the Imperial Guard to wage a full-scale war. We do not hate the alien because he is different. We hate the alien because he has naught but hate in his heart for us. Anonymous battle brother of the Deathwatch. The precise and shrouded origins of the Deathwatch are a matter of fragmented records and conflicting histories, but its most widely accepted formation is linked to the tumultuous time of rebirth in the year 544 of the 32nd millennium. This dark era was defined by the terrifying arrival of the largest orc Waog. The galaxy had witnessed since the legendary Ullanor Crusade in the final years of the Great Crusade. This monumental greenskin invasion, spearheaded by the enigmatic and monstrous warlord known only as the Beast, posed a dire and immediate threat to the sanctity of Terra, the Emperor's throne world itself. During this desperate crisis, which would become known as the War of the Beast, Corland, the newly elected Lord Commander of the Imperium and the sole surviving member of the venerable Imperial Fists Chapter, conceived of the radical strategy of deploying small, elite teams of veteran Astartes. These kill teams were designed to operate behind enemy lines, targeting the orcs' critical strategic assets, and ultimately, to hunt down and slay the beast itself. Despite profound initial reluctance and political opposition from a terrified and paralyzed High Lords of Terra, the sheer desperation of the situation forced their hand, and they approved Corland's audacious plan. The very first members of this newly established elite force were drawn from the battle, weary survivors of various chapters that had participated in the disastrous initial assault on the beast's capital world of Ullanor. These chapters had suffered catastrophic losses during the invasion, and the Deathwatch was thus born from the grim vigil they kept over their countless fallen comrades, their black-painted armor a symbol of their mourning and resolve. To secure the new formation's future and authority, Lord Commander Corland forged a critical agreement with the inquisitorial representative Veritas, ensuring that the Deathwatch would fall under the ultimate jurisdiction of the Inquisition, while an Astartes would always serve as its chapter master, a condition which assuaged the concerns of the Senatorum Imperialis regarding inquisitorial overreach. In the aftermath of the devastating War of the Beast, the Inquisition itself underwent a significant reorganization, being formally structured into its first two Ordos Majoris, the Ordo Malleus, tasked with hunting demons and combating the threat of chaos, and the Ordo Xenos, dedicated to opposing the alien menace. The Deathwatch was officially designated as an integral component of the newly formed Ordo Xenos, functioning as its Chamber Militant. This arrangement mirrored the relationship between the demon-hunting Ordo Malleus and their own secretive chapter of Astartes, the Grey Knights, establishing a powerful precedent for the partnership between Inquisitor and Space Marine. However, some ancient and apocryphal records suggest an alternative, much earlier origin, claiming that the Deathwatch was actually founded centuries prior by a shadowy assembly known as the Apocryphal Conclave of Orphite IV. This mysterious conclave was composed of visionary Inquisitor lords from the Ordo Xenos, who, through prescient study and forbidden lore, foresaw a dark future where humanity might be overwhelmed by Xenos hordes or irrevocably enslaved by insidious alien entities. The conclave, which convened in secret over many years, was a hotbed of fierce debate. Some puritanical members proposed a galaxy-wide crusade to purge all alien life, while more radical voices suggested forming alliances with tolerable Xenos races like the enigmatic craftworld Eldari. Others harbored fears of ancient, god-like beings awakening from their eons-long slumber, or terrifying invasions from beyond the galactic fringe. Despite some of the more hardline Puritan Inquisitor lords viewing the conclave's very deliberations as a sign of spiritual weakness and defeatism, a cohesive strategy was eventually and painstakingly agreed upon. The conclave requested a clandestine meeting with the chapter masters of the Adeptus Astartes to secure a solemn and binding pledge. The exact number of chapter masters who answered this unprecedented call from the Inquisition is unknown, as such grand assemblies of Astartes leadership are exceptionally rare and their records sealed. The specifics of the Inquisitor's address were not recorded for posterity, but it is clear that enough chapter masters participated to form a legitimate quorum. The conclave presented their chilling vision of the impending Xenos threat, and the assembled chapter masters, all of them seasoned veterans of countless campaigns, gave the dire proposal their gravest consideration. By the sunrise of the following day, the chapter masters presented their unified decision to the conclave. They pledged to found a new, unique chapter, one composed entirely of their most experienced veteran space marines, all of whom were experts in combating Xenos. This chapter was to be named the Deathwatch, and its sacred task would be to stand guard against the foretold doom. To this day, this ancient and solemn oath endures. The Deathwatch tirelessly engages the alien menace in the darkest, forgotten corners of the galaxy, wielding a combined force and a repository of forbidden knowledge greater than any individual Inquisitor could ever hope to muster. The Ordo Xenos and the Deathwatch collaborate in a close, if sometimes tense, partnership, with Inquisitors identifying and tracking humanity's enemies for the Deathwatch to surgically and utterly eliminate. While neither the Deathwatch nor the Inquisition holds direct command over the other, both work in concert toward their shared, vital goal, guided by the sacred oaths made centuries ago, forever vigilant for the day when the Conclave's dark prophecies might finally come to pass. Since its inception in the 32nd millennium, the Deathwatch has, through untold sacrifice and clandestine victories, allowed the Imperium to maintain the fragile belief that it was keeping the Xenos threat at bay. Through countless heroic sacrifices, this secretive order has vigilantly protected the Emperor's domains from horrors that would have shattered the spirit of ordinary men. However, the escalating crises of the time of ending and the subsequent era Indomitus, marked by the cataclysmic opening of the Great Rift, have starkly revealed just how fragile the Imperium's defense truly is against the long-feared alien apocalypse. He who allows the alien to live shares in its crime of existence. Inquisitor Fyodor Karamazov. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, the defenses of the Deathwatch have been tested as never before, stretched to, and in some sectors, beyond the brink of collapse. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy faces a confluence of threats, with more alien empires and hostile species rising to challenge humanity's existence than ever recorded. With numerous formidable Xeno species vying to claim dominion over the stars, the galaxy is plagued by a multitude of horrors, both ancient and newly emerged, all while mankind is battered by the protracted and ever-intensifying conflict against the forces of chaos. In the turbulent era Indomitus, the craftworld Eldari, driven by their thousand-year quest to restore their shattered strength and avert their final doom, fight with a renewed and ruthless determination. Their sinister kin, the Drukhari of Komorog, are escalating their terrifying predations, launching raids in unprecedented numbers to strip once thriving worlds of all sentient life, amassing ever-growing collections of slaves to satisfy their unending hunger for suffering. The ancient Necron dynasties rise from their tomb worlds at a pace that exceeds the Deathwatch's capacity to contain them, as their silent, undying armies reawaken and their regal rulers strive to impose a lifeless, metallic order on the vibrant chaos of the galaxy. The Orcs, whose countless wags have long been thwarted by the Deathwatch's precision strikes against their leadership, are now uniting under the prophetic banner of the warlord Gazkul Mag Uruk Thraka, whose great Wa'og threatens to engulf the entire galaxy in a tidal wave of primal violence. On the eastern fringe, the technologically advanced and expansionist armies of the Tau Empire push forward with aggressive confidence. Their recent development of the AL-38 slipstream module has enabled a rapid and shocking expansion across the Damocles Gulf, allowing them to seize worlds from the Imperium at an alarming rate. Farther out, in the chilling silence of the intergalactic void, the Tyranids, the extragalactic Great Devourer, drift with their countless bio-ships. Hive fleets Behemoth and Kraken, though shattered in previous wars, press their remaining splinter fleets ever further towards the galactic core, leaving nothing but barren, lifeless rocks in their wake. A dozen other Hive fleets encroach upon the Imperium's borders, their bio-ships emerging from the void in overwhelming, terrifying numbers. Hive Fleet Leviathan, in particular, poses a dire existential threat, with its splinter fleets emerging from below the galactic plane to menace the Segmentum Pacificus, and even the Segmentum Solar, the very heart of human civilization and home to Terra itself. Each standard year, the Watch commanders of the Deathwatch issue an increasing number of urgent requests for support from the wider Adeptus Astartes, invoking the ancient oaths to claim tithe after tithe of their finest warriors. However, astropathic messages also flow in the other direction, with numerous chapters formally requesting the immediate return of their battle brothers from the Long Vigil. In these dire times, the honor of such a discharge is tarnished by grim necessity, for every single space marine is crucial in the desperate battle against the dark forces threatening to unravel reality itself. Whether humanity will endure to see a new age of prosperity remains profoundly uncertain, but the warriors of the Deathwatch fight with every ounce of their transhuman strength to make that future a possibility. Every Watch fortress is a light in the darkness, a bastion that drives back the shadows in which the Xenos lurks. Without their illumination, the Emperor's worlds would be swallowed up one by one, falling to alien domination. Inquisitor Ishmael, excerpt from a treatise on the shield that slays. The Deathwatch stands as the Imperium's most vigilant sentinel, a silent shield safeguarding its fragile borders with unmatched dedication. It operates from a network of secret locations known as Watch fortresses, which are intentionally and meticulously omitted from all official Imperial records. For the Deathwatch, this obscurity serves as a critical additional layer of protection for their vital strongholds. A foe cannot attack what it cannot find. Each space-borne Watch fortress functions as an independent and sovereign domain under the absolute charge of a Watch commander, a veteran officer who wields the authority to initiate sector-wide purges without hesitation or need for higher sanction. These decisive, preemptive actions often prevent the need for protracted grand crusades, containing and utterly eradicating many Xenos threats before the broader Imperium even becomes aware of their existence. Operating under a profound veil of secrecy, each Deathwatch stronghold acts as a hidden guardian over specific, designated regions of the Imperium. Some are immense void fortresses dedicated to monitoring particular, persistent threats, such as Castellum Nullifact, which keeps a sleepless eye on the dormant Necron dynasties in the galactic north of the Ultima Segmentum, or the remote Fort Pikmin, which surveys the ominous ghoul stars and the unknown dangers lurking beyond the galaxy's edge. Others are strategically positioned to focus on regions where alien activity has been historically and consistently high. In addition to these major fortresses, there exists a vast network of smaller outposts known as Watch stations, some manned by only a handful of battle brothers. The largest fortresses, however, house entire Watch companies, each consisting of 4 full kill teams. Regardless of their size, all these stations are heavily armed bastions of Imperial order in the boundless, hostile expanse of space. Since the Great Rift tore the Imperium in twain at the dawn of the era Indomitus, some Watch fortresses have found themselves tragically isolated in the benighted realm of Imperium Nihilus, while others have been completely engulfed by demonic incursions and raging psychic disturbances. Despite these monumental challenges, the Watch masters of these beleaguered fortresses continue their long vigil with relentless, grim efficiency, making the most of every tactical advantage and fighting to the last man to uphold their sacred oaths. Watch stations, scattered across desolate worlds, barren moons, and the cold void of regions like the Jericho Reach, vary greatly in their appearance and construction. Some resemble a single, blocky, fortified bastion, its eagle-headed gargoyles overlooking lifeless, windswept worlds. Others are sprawling complexes of imposing black towers situated on remote lunar mountain ranges, or small, angular void stations bristling with advanced auspex arrays and esoteric scryer webs. Each station serves as a vital forward base for the Deathwatch, providing a vigilant and unblinking watch over its designated sector, ready to support any kill team that passes through its domain. Equipped with some of the most highly advanced sensor technology in the Imperium, watch stations constantly monitor their surroundings with a vigilance that never wavers. These powerful sensors can scan deep into interstellar space, intercept clandestine communications across a broad spectrum, and even probe the turbulent currents of the warp with powerful augers. The vast amounts of data collected are stored in secure reservoirs deep within the station's core. When a Deathwatch Space Marine departs, they are charged with the responsibility of taking a copy of this data to a main watch fortress for archival and analysis by the Ordo Xenos. Specialized, high-speed, warp-capable vessels known as Dark Hunters are tasked with the perilous duty of traveling between these isolated stations to collect and transport this crucial intelligence, their crews sworn to secrecy. This extensive surveillance network allows the Deathwatch to track alien activity in regions like the Jericho Reach and beyond, where few other Imperial agents can operate. All watch stations are extensively stocked with weaponry, ammunition, and supplies, readily accessible to any passing Deathwatch kill team. Many also feature comprehensive medical, analytical, and armory facilities, though their full utilization often requires the specialized expertise of an attendant apothecary or tech marine. Generally, watch stations are not permanently manned except when they are being used as a temporary base of operations for an active mission. They are designed to remain dormant and fully functional for solar decades, without a single Battle Brothers presence. During normal operations, the finest automated systems and machine spirits provided by the machine cult maintain and defend these stations. In the event of an attack, their layered void shields and automated defenses can withstand all but the most determined and overwhelming assaults. If breached, the stations are designed to self-destruct in a cataclysmic explosion, erasing all traces of their secrets from the galaxy. The most significant defenses of any watch station, however, remain its profound secrecy, its extreme isolation, and its careful concealment. Notable watch stations: Watch Station Arcus, a fortified void station shaped like a spiked iron pinwheel, drifting silently at the fringes of the otherwise unremarkable Arcus system. The station is compact, designed to house no more than a dozen Battle Brothers at a time. Most of its interior volume is devoted to its vast and powerful sensor arrays, which monitor the Arcus system and extend their unblinking gaze into the void beyond. Uniquely, the station is regularly home to an assigned astropath. Currently, the skilled practitioner Varies. Unfortunately, Varies has struggled for many solar months to send or receive clear messages through the warp, tormented by a growing shadowy presence that interferes with astropathic signals and fills the station's augers with disquieting static. The Arca system includes several planetary bodies, two of which could potentially support life, though they are harsh desert worlds with minimal water and jagged black rock formations. Recently, the system has become a focal point for Crusade forces led by the beleaguered General Cassilics, who, completely unaware of the Watch Station's presence, is attempting to regroup his forces after suffering heavy losses from the encroaching Terranid tide. Watch Station Belarius, nestled deep within the chaotic Hadex anomaly, is a remote and forgotten star system consisting of a massive, unnamed blue giant star, shattered planetoids, and vast, swirling dust clouds. Carved into a large, battle-scarred asteroid is Watch Station Belarius, once thought lost forever within the treacherous depths of the Hadex anomaly. Constructed millennia ago to oversee Xenos activity around the critical worlds of the former Jericho sector, Belarius was once a prestigious and important posting. During the catastrophic fall of the Jericho sector, the station was overwhelmed by a tide of demons pouring from the Imperium when the Hadex anomaly violently erupted. Most of the station's inhabitants were either grotesquely mutated or brutally killed. The final defenders fought with legendary bravery but were soon slaughtered, their last defiant message received by Watch Station Midale being a brief, clipped transmission: "We are holding our own." The station is now a silent, haunted tomb, its corridors etched with blasphemous runes. Watch Station Castile, located in an insignificant star system, the dead world of Castile hosts a watch station that is maintained by the Deathwatch despite its complete lack of any apparent strategic importance. The station always has a single Death Watch battle brother stationed there, a solemn duty known as the Lone Watch. Each Guardian remains for one standard Terran year before being replaced. The ultimate purpose of this lonely vigil is to monitor the station's data looms and to safeguard something hidden deep within the fortress's deepest stasis vault, though its true nature remains one of the Death Watch's most closely guarded secrets. Its unnerving proximity to the Hadex anomaly fuels speculation that it might house an ancient and powerful chaos artifact, but this remains unconfirmed. Watch Station Cressid. This station was recently the target of a violent attack by Chaos renegade space marines who mistakenly believed they had discovered a hidden cache of powerful artifacts. A lone Death Watch battle brother, with the crucial aid of the station's automated defenses, managed to repel the attackers, though the station sustained significant structural damage in the fierce battle. The renegade's assault, however, left behind an insidious parting gift, a malevolent warp entity that infiltrated the station's central data core. This malign intelligence now subtly manipulates the station's sensors and data outputs, making it appear to monitor nothing more than a lifeless, dead world. A kill team arriving at Cressid would initially find a seemingly ordinary, if damaged, watch station, but prolonged exposure would undoubtedly reveal the demon's corrupting influence as the station's systems begin to turn against them. Watch Station CX-3119, established nearly 800 standard years ago to observe the then nascent Hadex anomaly. This station was uniquely designed to be mobile. It was equipped with experimental and highly advanced warp augers, but even these powerful devices failed to provide adequate warning when the anomaly suddenly and violently expanded, drawing the station into its chaotic grasp. Unmanned at the time, it was officially classified as destroyed. However, Watch Station CX-3119 mysteriously reappeared in the year 815, M41, adrift many light years from its original site. Many within the Ordo Xenos and Adeptus Mechanicus are eager to investigate the data it collected during its time within the anomaly, though quarantine beacons now warn all Imperial ships to avoid the area, for none can say what other horrors it may have brought back with it. Watch Station Iobel, Located deep within the towering mountain ranges of Iobel II, this station functions more as a fortress than a typical remote outpost, capable of housing and training multiple kill teams simultaneously. Iobel now serves as the primary launch point for all Deathwatch operations into the dangerous Hadex anomaly. Following the conclusion of the Achilles Crusade and the alarming expansion of the anomaly, the station was significantly expanded into a formidable fortress, and now buzzes with constant activity. The station's original purpose of monitoring the shadowed valleys below has been largely forgotten, but there are old tales of mechanical horrors stirring in the deeps, and some battle brothers have seen distorted pics showing metallic, spider-like constructs with a faint, malevolent green glow, hinting at a dormant Necron presence. The Iron Bastion, situated in the very heart of the mysterious dark pattern, this heavily fortified space-based watch station is integrated into a massive planetoid within the treacherous Kyvax belt. It has studied the strange phenomena of the dark pattern for centuries, and serves as the primary base of operations for a secretive sect known as the Dead Cabal within the Jericho Reach. Its deeper, more confidential mission involves guarding and studying the enigmatic Jovial Hedron, an alien artifact of immense and terrifying power that was discovered 2 centuries ago. Its secrets remain frustratingly elusive, and it is believed to be highly dangerous. During one investigation, Brother Paragon of the Crimson Fists vanished without a trace from a secure, sealed chamber while analyzing the Hedron, with the only record of the event being a massive burst of energy before all picked recorders and sensors failed simultaneously. Watch Station Klaha. For many Terran years, this station, located on a volcanically active world, has faced persistent attacks from factions of the Dark Mechanicus seeking to illicitly extract rare ores and minerals. These tech heretics have established their primary base of operations atop the active volcano they call Mount Pride and have recently set up fortified orbital stations. Unaware that Klaha's advanced sensors have been tracking their every move, the Dark Mechanicus has begun a deep drilling project aimed at tapping directly into the planet's core energy. Meanwhile, the station's auger arrays have begun picking up massive energy and mass movements on the far side of the world, consistent with the migration patterns of a major Xenos life form, though no such activity has been recorded in the Klaha system for nearly 3 centuries. Watch Station Midale, located on a dead world near the spinward edge of the chaos-held Karen worlds, this lonely station consists of a solitary, heavily armored tower. For over 3 standard decades, Watch Fortress Iriak has not heard from it, and it is presumed lost. In reality, it is still home to a lone Deathwatch battle brother who has been isolated by the encroaching psychic influence of the Karen stars for more than 30 Terran years. He remains steadfastly at his post, guarding a terrible secret held within the tower's deepest stasis chamber, awaiting a relief force that has never arrived as the ominous light of the Hadex anomaly grows ever larger in the sky. Watch Station Earther, a formidable stronghold under constant siege on a semi-arid planet within one of the main war zones of the Canis salient. The Tau expansionists believe the planet holds significant strategic resources and have earmarked it for colonization under their greater good. The station itself is a sprawling, heavily fortified compound hidden deep within a network of mountain ravines. In a rare and notable example of inter-chapter collaboration, the station is currently garrisoned by 20 Deathwatch battle brothers under the command of Watch Commander Kissir Kurita, fighting alongside 50 allied space marines from the Storm Warden's chapter. They use the station as a secure base for launching devastating raids against Tau supply lines and command structures, significantly hindering their expansion attempts in the sector. Watch Station Fitus. This is not a typical station, but rather an ancient and mysterious archaeotech spacecraft that defies comparison with any known vessel in the Imperial fleet. The Adeptus Mechanicus remains stubbornly silent about its origins, leading to speculation that it may be a relic from the dark age of technology. Fitus is largely automated, with its integrated machine spirits displaying a level of sophistication and personality comparable to the most revered titans. Though small, it can fully support a kill team of 10 Astartes and contains a modest armory and a launch bay with a single Stormraven gunship and a drop pod. Its compact, stealthy design and advanced sensor baffling systems enable it to transport its kill team through hostile territory while remaining largely unnoticed. Watch Station Scapula. Scapula is a Tau-occupied dead world of minimal strategic value, but its rare mineral deposits are crucial for certain types of Imperial manufacturing, and the Achilles Crusade has marked it for eventual reclamation. Despite multiple and increasingly desperate attempts by the Tau to breach the hidden watch station, its automated defenses have resisted every assault. The Tau have recently experienced an alarming and inexplicable increase in the losses of their warriors on Scapula, with entire patrols of fire warriors and pathfinders disappearing under mysterious circumstances. An issue the local Tau command keeps confidential to avoid panic. Additionally, the station's deep core sensors have detected intense seismic activity and brief, powerful bursts of unknown radiation along Scapula's equatorial band, with no Tau forces seen anywhere near these readings, suggesting a new, unknown player has entered the conflict. Service in the Deathwatch. Joining the Deathwatch is regarded as a tremendous and solemn honor among the chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, as it signifies a status far above that of their peers. It is to be acknowledged as the elite among the elite. Just as the Adeptus Astartes are selected from the most promising and resilient warriors of humanity, the Deathwatch is composed of only the most skilled and deadly battle brothers, who have already attained veteran status through long and arduous campaigns. To be considered, a Space Marine must not only be a master of his chapter's way of war, but also possess a rare combination of adaptability, psychological fortitude, and an unshakable hatred for the alien. A battle brother who consistently excels in combat against Xenos threats will invariably attract the attention of his chapter's officers. It is a long and meticulous process. Typically, his company captain will endorse his superb combat skills and tactical acumen. His apothecary will confirm his physical capabilities and genetic purity, and his chaplain will rigorously evaluate his character and spiritual integrity. If all three of these senior officers agree on his suitability, the chapter master himself will be consulted. Upon the chapter master's final approval, the battle brother's future in the Deathwatch is secured. Though he may wait for several Terran years before being formally called to the Long Vigil, he will ultimately take his place as one of the Imperium's most specialized and deadly defenders. Most chapters hold a solemn ceremony to mark the departure of a battle brother chosen for the Deathwatch, acknowledging the gravity of the occasion. The Ultramarines, for instance, gather a significant portion of their company's strength to bid a stoic farewell to their comrade as he boards the black-hulled Thunderhawk bound for his new role. The fiercely independent Space Wolves send their chosen warrior off with a great feast, filled with mead and the boasting of heroic sagas. The secretive Dark Angels, however, send their departing brother away under a binding oath of secrecy, reminding him to keep the chapter's hidden truths undisclosed. Regardless of the specific rituals of the chapter, the occasion is always a somber one, shadowed by the knowledge that the battle brother will likely never return, his fate to become another nameless martyr in the endless, secret war against the alien. To honor this transition, the Initiate's power armor is ceremonially painted jet black, symbolizing the setting aside of his past honors for this new, singular purpose. Upon arriving at his new watch fortress, the Deathwatch recruit begins a grueling program of physical and mental conditioning far beyond what he has ever experienced. Through an intense and disorienting regimen of hypno-indoctrination and psychometric flashing, the recruit's subconscious is flooded with every detail the Deathwatch has accumulated about its myriad Xenos adversaries over millennia. He learns the precise anatomical weaknesses of a dozen alien species, the command protocols of Necron hierarchies, and the subtle signs of a genestealer cult infestation. Thus, when he is later confronted with an unfamiliar alien creature, its weaknesses and vulnerabilities will immediately and instinctively come to his mind. After completing this rigorous training, the Space Marine's previous rank is set aside, and he is assigned to a newly formed kill team. These unique teams consist of battle brothers from up to 10 different chapters, each with their own distinct martial cultures, combat specialties, and profound insights into the art of warfare. This incredible diversity can often lead to friction and intense rivalry, as a methodical Imperial fist may clash with a bloodthirsty flesh terror. Yet, all members share the same core ideals and are bound by unbreakable vows to defend humanity. In the unforgiving crucible of battle, these kill teams forge powerful bonds of brotherhood, learning to respect and depend on each other's diverse methods and abilities. By the time they engage the enemy in combat, the team has become a highly effective and cohesive unit, far stronger together than its individual members ever were apart. Just as a master swordsmith forges a legendary blade by folding and tempering many layers of steel, a Deathwatch kill team is forged in the fires of war into a potent weapon, capable of toppling alien empires with a single, perfectly aimed strike. As the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Xenos, the Deathwatch is charged not only with battle but also with study. They are tasked to analyze, and if deemed necessary, utterly exterminate dangerous, intelligent Xeno species. They also monitor nascent alien races and are authorized to acquire their technology for the Adeptus Mechanicus to study, a practice considered tech heresy by some but deemed necessary by the Ordo Xenos. The Adeptus Astartes chapters are bound by an ancient and unbreakable oath to provide their finest troops to the Deathwatch. However, some fiercely independent chapters, particularly those with radical views or a historical distrust of outside authority, such as the Dark Angels or Black Templars, may find this duty challenging. While no chapter would dare fail to meet its obligations, chapters like the Iron Hands, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, and Blood Angels have a historically strained relationship with the Inquisition. Conversely, chapters such as the Ultramarines, Crimson Fists, and Imperial Fists have a much closer and more cooperative relationship with the Inquisition and the Ordo Xenos. A Space Marine remains with the Deathwatch until an Inquisitor or his Watchmaster determines that his tour of duty is complete, at which point he is permitted to return to his home chapter with full honors. The returning veteran is a changed man, possessing knowledge he can never share and having witnessed horrors his brethren can scarcely imagine. Amid the pervasive darkness of the Era Indomitus, each Deathwatch base serves not only as a beacon against the encroaching Xenos threat, but also as a vital node in a silent, protective shield that spans the entire Imperium. The largest and most renowned of the watch fortresses is Thalassa Prime. Rather than a single station, Thalassa Prime is an entire world bestowed in perpetuity to the Deathwatch by the Ultramarines chapter from their own sovereign realm of Ultramar, a gift of incredible significance. It was once the main training and indoctrination site for the Deathwatch, but the calamitous emergence of the Great Rift has drastically reduced the flow of new battle brothers from the isolated Imperium Nihilus. There are now rumors that the watch fortresses of Prefecture Venatoris and Fort Excalibur have taken on this vital training role within the dark expanse of Imperium Nihilus. The organizational structure of most watch fortresses is remarkably consistent. Ultimate authority rests with a watch commander, who is typically a watchmaster or a highly experienced watch captain. Supporting the watch commander are the senior members of his stratagem, including Deathwatch librarians who scour the future for threats, apothecaries who analyze alien physiology for weaknesses, chaplains who maintain the spiritual purity of the warriors, and ancient, venerable dreadnoughts. His Deathwatch tech marines maintain the fortress's extensive and exotic armory, while watch captains and lieutenants provide strategic advice and lead the 4 largely independent kill teams that make up a single watch company. Most watch companies are smaller than the standards dictated by the Codex Astartes, usually consisting of no more than 50 space marines split into 4 or 5 kill teams. Despite their limited numbers, the combined skill and specialized weaponry of these veterans make them as formidable as any full space marine company. While the overarching command structure of a watch fortress remains sacred and unchanged, the kill teams operating under a watch captain are highly adaptable and fluid. Some kill teams might be reformed with specialists in combating specific types of Xenos, such as a team composed entirely of Terminators for aborting action on a Terranid bioship. Although kill teams rarely remain together for extended periods, some, like the legendary kill team Cassius, have formed such enduring bonds of brotherhood that they have become some of the chapter's most valued and celebrated assets. No 2 kill teams are ever identical. To deploy a Deathwatch kill team is to unleash a hand-picked group of transhuman warriors, each a celebrated hero from their respective chapter, combining their unparalleled specialist expertise into a single, unstoppable force. How many have given their lives in service to humanity? Their names never to be recorded, their deeds never to be celebrated. The Deathwatch seek not laurels. It is sufficient that the Emperor knows our names and our deeds. Brother Sergeant Gathas, 3 days before his death at the claws of an overlord of the Neogalic diaspora. The ancient vows undertaken by the Adeptus Astartes at their founding ensure that their finest warriors will always be assigned to the Deathwatch when the call comes. When a chapter receives the tithe request, they typically choose their most exceptional warriors, as any successes a Space Marine achieves while serving in the Long Vigil reflect positively on their home chapter, adding to its sagas and roll of honors. These esteemed warriors are almost always enthusiastic about joining the Deathwatch, seeing it as the ultimate opportunity to serve the Emperor and test their mettle against the galaxy's greatest threats. It is rare, but some battle brothers come to consider the Deathwatch their true home, becoming increasingly attached to its singular purpose and unwavering ways. For some chapters, service in the Deathwatch can also be a form of solemn atonement for a transgression against the chapter or its doctrines. The nature of the offense varies greatly. It could be a tactical error that led to the deaths of his brothers, a moment of spiritual doubt, or a failure to uphold the chapter's most sacred traditions. A Space Marine deemed inadequate by his superiors bears a shadow upon his soul that he must dispel through glorious action. Serving in the Deathwatch, with its near-certain promise of death against horrific foes, can act as an extended and honorable penance. If a battle brother is sent for atonement, this is typically known only to the chapter's leadership and the Marine himself. Given the perilous nature of Deathwatch service, it is considered a fitting way for a warrior to redeem his honor in selfless service to the Emperor. The Deathwatch veteran among the myriad Space Marine chapters, it is a rare and honored warrior who attains the status of veteran, as the crucible of endless war claims the lives of most before they can reach such a milestone. A Space Marine earns this revered title only through significant, heroic achievements, and after enduring long years of the most fierce and unforgiving conflict. The Deathwatch is no exception to this harsh reality. Battle Brothers are expected to be fulfilling their sacred duty rather than simply achieving veteran status by surviving. To be acknowledged as a veteran within the elite ranks of the Deathwatch, a Battle Brother must accomplish deeds of legendary heroism, distinguishing himself as a true instrument of the Emperor's wrath. A Space Marine's position within the strict chain of command can become ambiguous after years of dedicated service in the Deathwatch. He serves his watch commander and remains fundamentally loyal to his original chapter master. But as time passes, his primary allegiance might shift to encompass the brothers of his kill team, the men who have fought and bled beside him in the darkest corners of the galaxy. Though rare, it is possible that after many standard years, a veteran Battle Brother's loyalty may narrow to the point where he identifies more with the black shield of the Deathwatch than with the heraldry of his original chapter. In the most extreme cases, a Marine may choose to become a Black Shield, forever renouncing his past to serve the Long Vigil until death. Deathwatch members constantly encounter threats not faced by their chapter brethren in their more conventional wars. A kill team typically operates deep behind enemy lines with far fewer resources and faces more dangerous and exotic threats entirely alone. It is therefore no surprise that many who serve in the Deathwatch rise to the rank of veteran, as their unique and harrowing experiences broaden their understanding of the Imperium's ongoing struggle for survival. A Deathwatch veteran is not just someone who has spent years in service, but someone who has fundamentally adapted to the Deathwatch's specific missions and wholly internalized the grim necessities of the war against the alien. Not all Battle Brothers are suited for such extended and isolating service. Many complete their duty with honor and return to their chapter, their experiences making them invaluable assets. However, those who truly adapt to the unique operations and mindset of the Deathwatch become its most highly valued warriors. Over time, the members of a kill team develop a profound and unspoken reliance on one another. Missions against overwhelming and terrifying foes, often undertaken without any Imperial support for extended periods, forge these disparate units into powerful, autonomous combatants. Veterans are distinctive for being one of the few groups in the Imperium where true, unbreakable alliances can form between Battle Brothers from vastly different and sometimes rival chapters. Space Marines who may initially have little but disdain for one another, such as a stoic Dark Angel and a boisterous Space Wolf, can develop bonds within a kill team that may eventually surpass those they have with their own chapter. In the Deathwatch, Battle Brothers lead lives of intense isolation punctuated by moments of extreme, brutal combat. Even though all members of a kill team share a transhuman physiology and an unwavering duty to the Emperor, minor cultural differences and ancient rivalries can lead to significant friction. Those who become Deathwatch veterans invariably learn to adapt to these differences, setting aside old hatreds to function effectively as a team. This adaptation is a double-edged sword. While these veterans gain invaluable experience and a broader perspective, they may also grow irrevocably apart from their original chapter. The recruitment processes for the Adeptus Astartes vary from world to world, but the trials always forge the powerful bonds of brotherhood. The specific beliefs and battle doctrines learned during their training shape a Battle Brother's entire perspective on warfare. When a chapter sends one of its sons to the Deathwatch, it can be a significant and jarring cultural shift. The Adeptus Astartes have a long and bloody history of distrust and even open conflict among loyalist chapters, stemming from ancient rivalries dating back to the Great Crusade. These historical feuds can create palpable tensions within a kill team composed of members from these rival chapters. A kill team's ultimate strength lies in the unbreakable bonds forged among its members. When a battle brother joins a team harboring distrust, or attempts to impose his own chapter's ideals upon the others, the kill team suffers for it. Yet, even the least cohesive Deathwatch kill teams are still formidable warriors when compared to the most experienced Astra Militarum squads, or even the elite Militarum Tempestus Scions. For many battle brothers, their time in the Deathwatch will be marked by honor and duty, even if they never fully bridge the cultural divides within their team. The true Deathwatch veterans are typically those who have embraced these differences, evolving to meet the unique challenges of the Deathwatch, and in doing so, enhancing their kill team's lethality far beyond the sum of its individual components.